So now we have our next guest. So welcome, Fleur Hassan-Nahoum. Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you for the wonderful Hanukkah programs you've been doing. I was sorry that I missed the one in Jerusalem today, but it must have been so powerful. For those of you who don't know, there was, well, I can let you say the unveiling that happened today. I'm sure you can share a little bit about that and why it's important.
So thank you so much. It's so wonderful to be here and so wonderful that we have a day in Israel that we can create awareness about the expulsion of the Jews from Arab lands. And as I said in my speech today at the unveiling of the statue that we put in the Tayelet Armon HaNatziv, a very, very central place in Jerusalem, we shouldn't just be celebrating getting kicked out of somewhere. We should be celebrating our heritage of when we lived somewhere, for good and for bad. And this is exactly, what I've spent a lot of my work and my time and my platform in office doing. Basically, I'm also the head of the Public Arts Committee in the city of Jerusalem. And about a year and a half ago, an incredible man called Jerry Klinger, who's a donor, actually not even Sephardi, but he wants to commemorate the expulsion of the Jews from Arab lands. And we had a statue made to commemorate the Jews coming out. And in this case, it was the very famous, iconic picture of the Yemenite Jews with their bags and their pregnant wives and their children coming into Israel. So we've turned that into a statue and we put it in a very central promenade with the view of the best view in Jerusalem, actually. And I had the pleasure and honor of opening it today along with Equal Opportunities Minister Meirav Cohen, whose family are Moroccan Jews. And we heard the story this morning from the president of Meirav's family. I started my day at 9:30 at the president's house, commemorating this day, and we continued on to the statue unveiling. And I finished my day off with Miss Universe. So it's been a very, very, very day. That's been my day. But I think that the narrative of the Jews from Arab and Muslim lands is not told enough and not enough in the public space. So I'm trying to do my piece from Jerusalem here to make sure that it exists in the public space. Meirav Cohen, a wonderful woman who's the minister for social equality, that's the title, she is actually working very hard and pushing very hard to put in the curriculum, in the Israeli school curriculum, the story of Jews from Arab and Muslim lands. And I will be her partner and supporter in this 100%. And of course, your wonderful organization can be a very strong part of the lobbying for that as well.
We hope to. Can you tell a little bit about your personal background?
Sure. So I'm from Gibraltar. Originally, my mother is from Tangiers in Morocco. She spoke Spanish and French. My father's family are originally from Moorish Spain. Didn't get kicked out. They actually were smart enough to run away and found refuge originally in Menorca, which was at the time a British colony. And then when Gibraltar became British 350 years ago and became a strategic military base, the British were very smart and invited Jews to come and settle there because they knew that Jews were merchants and they would bring in goods and services that they needed. And so my family on my father's side has been in Gibraltar, which is, of course, a Spanish, Moroccan, Portuguese community for 350 years. And my mother's family, also originally from Spain, ended up taking refuge in northern Morocco, in Larache and Tangiers. So I grew up speaking English and Spanish at home. And of course, our kind of customs are a mixture of Spanish, Portuguese, and Moroccan.
And we've been hearing a lot about the food. So what foods represent your...
So, it's interesting because I'm married to an Iraqi, and that's such a different cuisine. I see Edwin Shukr on the call. So I'm making his type of food normally on Fridays, mainly because my mother never really liked cooking. But, and my mother-in-law taught me everything I know. But basically, the food is a a kind of cross between Mediterranean cuisine, Spanish Mediterranean cuisine, and a Jewish Moroccan cuisine. So a lot of couscous, alafina, which is a Shabbat cholent, which I think is way better than, I mean, I hate to say it, but way better than the Ashkenazi cholent. It's less stodgy, but it's very good. It's meat and chickpeas and potatoes and everything cooking all night. And my husband's cholent is, of course, the tbit, which I cook, which is chicken and rice, again, cooking all night with all sorts of spices. And, you know, my husband laments that I don't do what his aunts used to do, which is sew the rice into the skin of the chicken. And I'm like, look, pal, I'm the deputy mayor of Jerusalem. Get somebody else to sew the skin on the chicken, okay? I think I do enough.
Definitely. And juggling everything else is, you have a lot out there. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for telling us about, and thank you for everything you do, because the only way we're going to get the word out is, and the discussion going, is with people like you. So thank you so much for joining.
We need organizations such as yours, Dora, and all the leadership here, and Danny, who I was in Dubai with, and Edwin, who I was in Dubai with, doing the first ever cultural event, Jews and Muslims. We are in a new era of going back to life in the Arab world, ironically, but incredibly. And I think that this is our moment for leadership and for building the bridges that Sephardis know how to do better than anybody else.
Exactly. And that's where you come in. So thank you.